What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video I've got 7 very specific affordable cologne fragrances, because now that we're getting into kind of the dog days of summer, it's mid-July at the recording of this, it's starting to get really hot a lot of places. Even here in the mountains it was in the high 90s with decent humidity. Not high humidity because I'm not on the Gulf Coast, but it's pretty friggin' hot. So it got me thinking, what would be 7 great affordable clones? Because that's been kind of the hot topic for you and I lately. What would be great for this time of year? So I've compiled a list of 7 and I want to talk to you about them, so stay tuned. Starting with an Elysium Parfum Cologne clone from Paris Corner called Emir Trillium. So some of you might ask, why did I choose this over Fragrance World's Imperium? Because when I think high heat, I want the freshest of the fresh. This is that much fresher than Trillium. Trillium, it's a little bit more dense and green overall. It's a great clone. I mean, not Trillium, Imperium. Great clone. But this one's just that much more bright, sharp, metallic, and airy overall. For a super high heat day, I want light and airy, and this definitely does it. Beautiful grapefruit, citric, watery, very aromatic and ozonic. This is a lovely take. While not a direct one-to-one copy of Elysium Parfum Cologne, it definitely replicates the scent pretty well overall. Not a super strong performer, about 4 hours of longevity on skin, but for the money, if you don't mind refreshing and you're just going to be outdoors in the high heat sweating a lot, you're going to want that type of scent profile where it's just really bright, airy, and refreshing, and that is exactly the words I would use to describe Emir Trillium from Paris Corner. Another amazing clone from another Rage Parfums fragrance that is ideal for the summertime would be Rage Parfums Oceania, a personal favorite of mine to wear during the summertime. This is from Makin. This is called Triton. This is one of my favorites that Michael Dinsmore has ever made. You can see I do spray this one from time to time. So he pretty much locked down the scent profile of Oceania. Now, it's not as bright and airy as the original because that's an eau de parfum, whereas this is an extrait. This is a much higher oil concentration. So it does wear a little bit heavier, but it still has that bouquet of fruits, the tangerines, orange, lemon, bergamot, all that good stuff. The soapy florals, the light powdery tone, the clean muskiness, the light aquatic freshness that it has without any aquatic notes. Like I said, Michael Dinsmore, this is, in my opinion, one of the most accurate interpretations that he has ever done in the house of Makin. And this is one I always encourage people when they're asking, what should I check out? I'm going to make an order from Makin. What should I check out from them? There's a few that come to mind immediately. I say if you like sweet and want a candy scent, go with Unaverage Patch. I think if you want the best fall fragrance money can buy, that's kind of a hybrid of all of the greats, the 1 Million Privés, the Wanted by Nights, all that good stuff, get Fallen Leaf. And if you're looking for the best fresh fragrance from the house, get Triton, which is a clone of Rage Parfums Oceania. Next, we're talking about one of my personal favorites to ever come out of Alexandria fragrances. This is a clone of an extremely popular Louis Vuitton fragrance. I believe it's pronounced Lemensite? Lemensite? I don't know. Anyways, theirs is called Lemensity. I'm sure I butchered the first one, but this is really good. Juicy, watery, rich bergamot, grapefruit, ambroxan, water notes, ginger, just working in harmony. This is a good one, guys. Potent, powerful. That ginger really kind of provides a little bit of a spicy zest, a crispness to go with. Like I said, there's watery notes and ambroxan here that really provide this oceanic, juicy feel. It really makes the citruses super juicy and kind of sweet citrus, to be honest with you. It's really, really good. And performance is stellar. This is my 60 ml. I did have a 100 ml that I did a giveaway with a long time ago, which I don't know how many of you have tried this from the house, but the next time you're maybe looking to grab some samples or maybe make a purchase from Alexandria, I would encourage you to get your nose on this one. If you've ever tried the original from LV, this is the best interpretation I've ever smelled. And I've had a few of them from smaller clone houses, from Dossier, which theirs is really good as well. That could have been in here. That's a really good clone of this. But I think this one's just a little bit better because it's a bit higher of an oil concentration. So It doesn't lose any of the brightness that you would get from some of the other takes on this fragrance, but it manages to really ramp up the longevity on this one because it's such a high oil concentration. Like I said, if you want juicy, mouth-watering, sweet citrus, very aquatic, massive compliment getter that works great in the high heat, you're going to want Alexandria's version of the very popular LV fragrance. This is called Immensity. This next one is a great interpretation, a more fresh and airy, slightly watery take on Bulgari's Tigar. It is from Rue Broca. This is Theoreme. So some of you are probably asking, why not Tirathi Blue? So the reason that I chose this for the topic at hand is because, like I stated when I described it, airy and watery, slightly more fresh. So the grapefruit's a little bit more dense and, I guess, juicy and warm in Tirathi Blue, where it's bright and fresh, airy, and like I said, you'd swear there's watery notes in this fragrance because it has somewhat of an aquatic feel. Like, I wouldn't call this an exact clone of Tigar. It's clearly they were going for Tigar. This is a subsidiary brand to Afnan, which is who makes Tirathi Blue, but redundant to one another, sure. But if you're in a high heat area, it's super hot outside where you're at, you might want this one because it's so much fresher overall. Don't get me wrong, Tirathi Blue will work here, but I feel the density and the enhancement of the spices kind of make that a little bit more of a kind of sticky, icky type of feel in high heat versus wearing something like this. So if you're looking for what I've experienced thus far when it comes to interpretations of Tigar, just the freshest of the fresh, that's probably the best one for high heat, you're going to want to check out Rue Broca Theoreme. Creed's Virgin Island Water is just a high heat summertime staple. Pina colada, super tropical, beach vacation type of fragrance. And when we're talking about clones of that scent, one that seems to get forgotten about that's a little warmer and a little bit more boozy than the original even is from Samy Andraus. This is called Caribbean Island. This right here, so it's not the exact same note breakdown. You can see the note breakdown here on the back. So it doesn't have the yellow florals, but that white rum, oh man, the rum ginger combo, it's a little bit warmer, a little bit more crisp and boozy overall, but still has that just tropical pina colada feel, tropical fruits, all that good stuff. Whew, it's still here. Man, this is good. I gotta say, I do wear it on occasion. I mean, that's why the juice level isn't to the top. I do wear it from time to time. Honestly, I've reached for this one recently for just random sprays more than my actual bottle of Virgin Island water because this is one of the best interpretations I've ever smelled. Not too many can kind of hold a candle to it because it's not an exact copy. Clearly was going for Virgin Island water, but because he made it a boozier, more ginger heavy fragrance and a very warm lemon here as well. It's understated how warm the lemon comes across, that lemon ginger combo. This is beautiful, underappreciated from Samy Andraus fragrances, and I would encourage you to check this one out. This is another one that when people ask me what should I order from there, a few come to mind, mostly from the Sapphire collection. Blue Sapphire, his take on Elysium. Red Sapphire, his take on Baccarat Rouge, and fragrances like Caribbean Island, his take on Virgin Island water. It's one of the best, and it's pretty affordable. Samy Andraus fragrances, Caribbean Island. This next one's basically a carbon copy of Invictus Aqua 2016. Saltwater aquatic, bright and sharp grapefruit, while still remaining to be juicy. It's sharp yet juicy, super watery. I mean, they nailed it here. Armaf has other clones of Invictus Aqua 2016, but I think they just nailed it. I've had people say, try El Celio. And it's got big shoes to fill when it comes to Armaf niche Sapphire. This is pretty much spot on in my opinion. I did a full review on this one last year. This is such an incredible take. I had it on my arm last night, the recording of this, when I came up with this idea for this video. This was one of the first fragrances that came to mind. I sprayed it on top of this forearm. This is such a good one, guys. Doesn't get talked about enough, and shame on me, I haven't been wearing it much lately, but I've pulled it out to put it in the rotation because it's just such a great fragrance to beat the heat, because it's Invictus Aqua. One of my all-time favorite scent profiles. Aqua 2018 more specifically is my actual favorite, but I'm a big fan of everything 2016 as well. Some will say, what about Rasasi Hawass? To me, that is pretty much original Invictus plus spices, so I don't find them completely redundant to one another. You'd be just fine with that. That's a little bit heavier wear, whereas this is much more aquatic and watery overall. This is more of a carbon copy to Invictus Aqua 2016 specifically, and you can find it in the mid $30 price point. This is one that you might not hear much about, but might be a best kept secret for you if you can get your nose on it. And it's Armaf Niche Sapphire. Last but not least, we're talking about Mancera Cedrat Boise. So personal favorite of mine. Now, that may be a little too heavy for some of you in very high heat. I get it. I don't like to wear it in the highest of heat either. But the clone that we're about to talk about is much fresher, more juicy citrus, and more clean musk than it is leather and woods in the dry down versus the original. It's another one from Paris Corner in their Emir range. This is Cedrat Essence. You can find this in the $25 to $35 range. It performs about the same, and it's fresher overall. Like I said, more lemon lime citrus than fruity sweet versus the original, and in the dry down, more clean musk versus woody leather and musk in the original. This is such a beautiful, we're spraying that some more. In fact, that's how much I like this one. This is the one we're spraying on skin in the middle of the video. This is so good. I don't want to say save the best for last because these are all phenomenal for what they are. That's why they're in this video. But Cedrat Boise is one of my 5 favorite fragrances to ever exist. And this is a fresh take. A very affordable, fresh take on the scent profile. It's just so well done. I would say it's about 80 to 85% Cedrat Boise because there are differences like I described. The top and the bottom, that's the main differences that I get from it. But clear as day, they were going for Cedrat Boise. Do yourself a favor. If you're in a warm climate, you're in high heat, that's why you're watching this video in the first place, and you like Cedrat Boise, you're probably going to want to check this out. Paris Corner's Emir Cedrat Essence. Well, that's what I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What of this collection of fragrances have you tried, or what piqued your interest? I'll try to have links to everything down below if you're interested in checking any of them out. And until next time, we'll see if you get your hands on any of these and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Especially if you're not wanting to spend a lot of money and you're in the high heat. Have a good one, guys.